Good afternoon, Norcal Karters. It is February 15th, 2022, and right now it's about 2:30. So if you're listening live, you can click on the chat button. If you have a question or a comment, you can send it in, and if I catch it in time, I'll read it on air. And if you're listening to this recorded, well, that's options not available for you. So, once again, this is the quick format. I'm going to try and knock this show out in 15 minutes. It's a recap of past events. Now, it's not going to be like a recall of everything that happened on the track. It's just, hey, this is the event that happened, blah, blah, blah. And then we go 4 to 6 weeks out in advance with upcoming kart events. So, if you're asking yourself, when do we get more recaps, events, actions that are happening on the track? If you're a local tracker or promoter, we do have packages available where we are bringing in guests to share what happened at the past weekend. So if you would be interested in a program like that, reach out to us at norcalkarters@gmail.com. You can also reach out to us on Facebook in the Messenger or on Instagram. Now, if I don't get right back to you right away, resend the message or send it via email. Lately, I've been having a hard time where messages or comments are coming in on various messaging apps, and they just get lost. And then in the back of my head, it's like, oh, I know this person sent me a message, but where was it? And I spent a half an hour trying to find them. So if I don't respond to you right away, just send me a quick email, norcalkarters@gmail.com. So since I'm plugging my email, take the moment to go to YouTube. You may be listening to this podcast right now on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button on the video. The goal for YouTube is to hit 1,000 subscribers. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, that is going to unlock new options for us when it comes to live race coverage or events that we can do mobile. Right now I'm tethered. I have to be plugged into the internet in order to do a stream. But if I hit 1,000 subscribers, I can take that channel mobile, and that would be a great option for us down the road. You can also find us on Facebook, norcalkarters.com, Karters with a K. And lately we've been more engaged on Instagram. So if you have some cool pictures, videos, reels, whatever, tag us on Instagram, tag us on Facebook. Let us know what you're doing in karting. And there is so much stuff going on in karting. Norcal Karters is a very local, hypercentric show. We really focus on NorCal. But we have Norcal Karters that are traveling all over the country. We have some Norcal Karters that just stick to one track. We have some Norcal Karters that only just go out and they just plug laps on a Thursday. We want to hear from all of you. So tag us in your posts so we know what's going on. Again, there's so much stuff going on at these different tracks. This past weekend, I go out to Prairie City a lot. So I was out at Prairie City on Thursday. The track was getting more and more busy, even on a Thursday. A lot of stuff going on. And it's neat seeing the faces show up on a Thursday compared to on the weekends. And then I stopped by Sonoma on Saturday. I just had to go to the track to see how green it was. And I was out there. My wife and I, we were heading to Novato. And so we stopped by the track. And she's like, why are we here? It's like, well, I just have to stop by the track. I'm kind of getting that spring fever going. It's like, I just need to go to the track. She's like, I don't know. It's just like a weird itch. And so I stopped by Sonoma. The track looks beautiful. That day they had the corporate carts out there. They didn't have any of the race carts out. Sunday and Monday they had the race carts out there. Apparently the track magic crew was out at Sonoma. I missed those guys on Sunday because I was watching the Super Bowl with Jimmy and Cassie. We were watching the Super Bowl, so that was a lot of fun. But again, the whole point of that rant, if you're doing something karting related in NorCal, or you're on the other side of the country, but you're from NorCal, tag Norcal Karters so we know what's going on. We have a lot of racers from our region doing all kinds of cool stuff, and it'd be neat to stay in contact with everybody. So don't be shy. Tag us on Facebook or tag us on Instagram, and let us know what you're up to. So Yeah, that's it. And some other plugs. Our Norcal Karter decals have shown up. They arrived. We have them all the way down from 2¼ inches up to 12 inches. And the Norcal Karter decals have arrived. So I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to Kimberly Cameron. And I want to say thank you to Ashley Veloz. Because those two have really been pushing me over the past 3 or 4 months to get more shit done on the marketing side of things. And I've wanted to do decals for a while. I've had quotes sitting in my inbox forever. And I just ADD'd out and forgot about it. And it was their reminders like, hey, we need decals. We need this. We need that. So specifically to the two of you, thank you very much for the push. I had the decals within 2 weeks once I actually pulled the trigger. And honestly, I forget about those small details. I'm all over the place mentally. So it's like, oh yeah, Norcal Karters doesn't have any more decals. I'm out. So now we have them. So if you'd like to support the cause, you could go to norcalkarters.com, click on the shop link. It'll take you to our store that's hosted by extrakartparts.com. And you can buy the decals. You can buy shirts. We sell rollout tapes for your tires so you can measure the circumference. And the reason we're branding products Norcal Karters and selling it, all the profits go right back to Norcal Karters to support the live streams, to support the web hosting, to support new equipment that we need to buy to do all this stuff. So we are looking at doing more live trackside stuff. So it all costs money. So it just bottom line. This is not my primary business. My primary business is extrakartparts.com. So every donation, every t-shirt sale, every decal purchase, it all helps because it all goes right into that Norcal Karters budget envelope, if you will, to help keep this show going. And honestly, it's a little bit of motivation. You see a little bit of money hitting the checking account, and you look at it and you go, all right, Jason Berry personally isn't paying for this project anymore. It's self-funding. So there's a little bit more motivation to do more outreach, to get into different areas, to run various ads. So there's a lot of things we're working on in the background that, we take the money. It's not a nonprofit, but I kind of treat it that way as far as at the end of the year, I don't need to have money in the Norcal Karters bank account to be happy. I just need to know I'm promoting karting. I'm getting the word out there in NorCal that, karting is happening. And the main reach is new people, bringing new people into the sport. So that's where your money goes when you buy shirts and decals or if you sponsor a show. So with that being said, let's get to it. A lot of stuff going on. So we just talked about some live streams. We were talking about YouTube. We were talking about Facebook. So last night we did a couples in karting. So my wife joined me for the live stream. We had Ashley and Josh Veloz on. We had Jim and Cassie Kidd on. We had a number of people chatting live through Facebook and YouTube. And it was really a show. It was Ashley's idea to do the couples in karting. And I really wanted to kind of get into, okay, how do people get into the sport? How do people interact as a couple when it comes to karting? For me personally, I met my wife at the track. We were friends. We got into a relationship. We got married, blah, blah, blah. The rest is history. Here we are, 2022. Everyone's background's a little bit different. And I know in my personal relationship, I couldn't do a lot of the stuff I want to do with karting if it wasn't for the support of my wife. And sometimes the support comes with her being at the track, helping me out in the pit. Sometimes it's just getting me ready, getting me and my daughter ready. Like if we're going out of town for something, she's packing all the bags, packing the lunches. Even if she doesn't join us, she's making sure that, I'm taken care of with supplies or my daughter's taken care of with supplies. And that allows me to focus on the kart stuff, make sure that, my helmet's loaded and the suits are done and the karts are loaded and my checklist from the karting thing. And then we had Jim and Cassie on. They both race. And it was fun talking to them and Cassie talking about how she's had a couple of oh shit moments where she's working on her kart and she's on the grid and the chain was loose or there's something else. And again, that's a different dynamic because they're a married couple, but they both race. And they've had a long-time mechanic over the past 5 years, Peter Freeberg. He's been helping them out. But one mechanic for two drivers, I mean, you can get pulled thin pretty quickly. So there's a lot of times that either Jim or Cassie has to physically work on their own kart. So that was a neat thing to kind of listen to. And then we had, again, Josh and Ashley, and they were talking about it. You know, she's not a behind-the-scenes type of person. She's very active in karting, but she usually is running a scoring department or helping out with registration, doing things like that. Josh is a tuner mechanic for karting stuff, and he also races. So it was really neat just, you know, kind of hearing how these people met, how they work together in karting, and just kind of going through everything. Sorry, my phone was going off, and as I've mentioned many times before, I have ADD, so I get distracted easily. So there's been a number of times I'm doing the podcast and people start texting me on my personal numbers like, hey, what about this? What about that? Or, hey, talk about that. So that's why I'm checking it. But then I get sidetracked. So that was the live stream last night, was Couples in Karting. And a couple weeks ago, Monday, February 7th, we had junior kart drivers on. That was a cool show. So we had junior one driver, Eric Doan. We had junior 2 drivers, 100cc juniors. We had Jacinta Taylor. We had Preston Lambert. And we had Steven Eisert on. And that show was a lot of fun. I love talking to the kids. What I love about kids is just their brute honesty. It's not very often you get a very PR'd, polished kid. So it's like you ask them a direct question and you usually get a direct answer, and I love that. So if you missed that live stream, go check it out. It's on Facebook and on YouTube. Again, junior kart drivers. We will do another junior kart drivers show. It looks like we're going to have to do it in April. Because we have February kind of booked out already. March is full on the live stream. And so we're going to have to book out in April. If you want to be on one of the live streams, we post on Instagram, we post on Facebook, we post on Norcal Karters. Stay engaged with our social channels. That's how we get the word out there that we're doing special shows. It's open to everybody. So if you're a junior driver and we're talking about a junior show, reach out to us. Send us a message. Give us your email. Get your parents' permission if you're a junior. So that's how we bring our guests on. You know, it's kind of an outreach thing. Again, I'm so scatterbrained. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, I would go, oh, that's a great guest to have. That would be a guest. And then I wake up in the morning, I forget everything. So again, stay engaged with our social channels, Norcal Karters, when we're looking for events or guests for our live stream. Let's see here. Monday, January 31st, we had Northern Nevada Kart Club on. So they were on the live stream. They were talking about their past season, some of the changes going on to improve the track or the facility. We had a gentleman out of Reno that runs their mini moto program. So again, a lot of stuff happening on the live streams. If you're a promoter or track and you're wondering how to get more attention to your track, reach out to us. We have sponsorship packages available, and the live stream stuff, it's been a lot of fun. So again, it's all about promoting the sport. So if you want to promote your events and try to increase the participation at your track, reach out to us to ask us what our different packages are. Speaking of reaching out, let's talk about our sponsors real quick. Gorilla Barbecue, GorillaBarbecue.com. Rich Bakke has been a huge supporter of karting going back into the 90s as a mechanic. Now he's an integral part of the Track Magic Owners Group. He's a sponsor of the Track Magic drivers. And so you have Kyle Wick and you have Preston Lambert on the Track Magic branded chassis underneath the GFC karting tent. And they just came off of a hell of a win. Both Preston and Kyle Wick were standing on the top step at the Challenge of the Americas Tucson event. So Kyle Wick runs Pro Shifter. Preston Lambert runs 100cc Junior. So, Rich Bakke is a big supporter of the Track Magic program. And he's also a sponsor of Norcal Karters. And I just mentioned GFC Karting. Gary's a sponsor of the show. So we got some exciting stuff coming up with Gary Carlton here in the next couple of months. Last year, he was the first shop that really reached out to me and said, hey, get me on the calendar. I want to be on your calendar. I want to be on Norcal Karters to support what you're doing. And at the time, I didn't really know what to do with Gary because I wasn't running banner ads or anything else. Now we have banner ads. This year, we're switching Gary's program up a little bit. He basically is at capacity for local racing. So he said, it's not that I don't want to advertise with you guys anymore, but I don't necessarily want to be on your calendar of events for the races that he's doing, because he races the Rock Sonoma stuff. He runs Challenge of the Americas. He runs SCUSA. He's all over the place. So he's running a lot of races, and his tent has really good numbers every single event. So him and I are working on some cool stuff that we'll be releasing out over the next couple of months with GFC Karting and his website, gfckarting.com. As I mentioned earlier, we have extrakartparts.com. That's my primary income stream, extrakartparts.com. So in kind of a weird way, if you buy something through Extra Kart Parts, the money kind of funnels, back to Norcal Karters as well when we have a little bit of a low month for Norcal Karters. And new to Norcal Karters for 2022 is Aluminos, aluminos.com. And Rob's website address, ALUMINOS, aluminos.com. And Rob is sponsoring Norcal Karters this year. He will be on our calendar. And he is also doing a Rive and Drive rental programs for the NCK Road Racing Series. So that's actually a perfect segue into NCK Road Racing. So Rob at Aluminos is doing Arrive and Drives. So you can rent a cart from Rob. He's offering shifter and tag packages. So if you've ever wanted to try road racing, reach out to Rob and he'll put a package together. Again, go to aluminos.com for his phone number. There's also a registration page on his website. So that way, if you've ever thought about either one, driving a race cart, or two, a real race cart, we're not talking about rental indoor stuff. We're talking about outdoor, state-of-the-art racing equipment. Reach out to Rob. Or if you thought about doing some road racing stuff and you kind of want that mentorship where you just drop in and go, again, aluminos.com. Check it out. And NCK Road Racing, their first event for 2022 will be at Thunderhill. And they're going to run the West layout. So Thunderhill West. And that is going to be on February 26th. So February 26th, 2022. Thunderhill West for NCK. You can go to either norcalkarters.com and click on the calendar to get to their website. Or you can go directly to their website by visiting nckroadracing.com. And you can register for that event. They extended registration, I think, for a couple of more days. So go to their, if you're thinking about doing Thunderhill, do it now. Go to their site. Save the money by registering early. So nckroadracing.com. And again, Aluminos will be on hand with tag and shifter rental programs. Now, with the rental, you gotta book those ahead of time. It's not hey, I heard a podcast and you show up Saturday morning at the track and say, well, I heard you have rentals. You need to book those ahead of time. That way the team has proper time to prep the cart for your size, make sure the right seat's in it, make sure the pedals are in the right spot, and everything's adjusted to your size. So keep that in mind. That same weekend, Challenge of the Americas. they've been supporting Norcal Karters for a couple years now. Their website, challengekarting.com. So challengekarting.com. They are heading to Phoenix. So PKRA, Phoenix, Arizona. And they are heading out there same weekend, February 25th through the 27th. So you can go to challengekarting.com to register. And again, you can also go to norcalkarters.com, click on the events tab, and you can jump from our calendar right to their website to register. So we try to make it easy for our sponsors. If they're helping out the show, we make it easy to go from our site to their site. So that's one of the perks of Norcal Karters sponsorship. Let's see here. Prairie City Karting, also a sponsor of Norcal Karters. And again, click on the events tab on norcalkarters.com, and you can go right to pckarting.com to check out their event. So it's a 4-stroke weekend. So Prairie City Kart Club 4-stroke weekend, March 5th and 6th. And again, you can go to pckarting.com or norcalkarters.com, click on the events tab to go to that site for the information. Now, when I say 4-stroke weekend for Prairie City, it was very popular that Donald broke up the 4-strokes and the 2-stroke weekends. At first, he did it out of necessity because he's on state property. I'm tired of COVID. I'm tired of just saying the word. But the reality was, he was told you can have X amount of people on the property. Donald was looking at it. It's like, okay, well, we're going to have to split the racers up. And so he did a 4-stroke weekend, and then he did a 2-stroke weekend. Both weekends have been hugely successful. And now that we're in 2022, and everything's kind of back to normal, as far as on our racing end of things, everything's back to normal. But it was so popular, Donald said, you know what, I'm going to leave them split up. So for 2022, the 4-stroke and the 2-stroke weekends will be separated again. So March 5th and 6th, race number 1, 4-stroke weekend at Prairie City. The following weekend will be the KPX Championship. That'll be at Prairie City on March 12th and the 13th. Then we have Rock Sonoma Round 1, March 19th and 20th. So Rock Sonoma. Again, Rock Sonoma, they are a sponsor of Norcal Karters. NorcalKarters.com, click on events, boom, Rock Sonoma March 19th. Will take you to their site so you can register for their events. And on March 19th, there's also going to be an awards presentation. So they are doing the 2021 awards presentation on March 19th. So originally it was scheduled for February 5th, but the county that they operate out of sent out a notice to the different businesses, etc., and their particular banquet facility sent them an email and said, hey, we don't know what's going to happen. We may have to limit your banquet to 50 people total. So the Camerons had to make that hard decision and go, okay, well, we're going to have to, cancel the plans at that location. We're going to do it at the track there on March 19th. I'm assuming it's going to take place after the practice sessions. So March 19th, they will have the awards presentation, and it's going to be at the Radical warehouse. So Radical, I think it's called Radical Northwest, but it's a couple hundred feet from the kart track. So it'll be indoor environment. It'll be at the Radical Northwest facility. And again, that will be the awards presentation. And Norcal Karters is also working on some sort of a after-hour show where those in attendance will have the option, if they want to come on for extended coverage and give an extended shout out to their sponsors or whatever they want to do. So keep an eye on Norcal Karters for more information on that. But back to our sponsors, Rock Sonoma. Their website, sanzarukarting.com, sanzarukarting.com. And you can reach out to that website for all the information on their first race coming up. And speaking of Sonoma, they're looking for corner workers. So if you're an experienced corner worker, get a hold of Steve or Kimberly Cameron. If you don't know how to reach out to them, send me a message. I will get the message to them. My email is norcalkarters@gmail.com, And in the subject, just put corner worker. If you're new to karting and you want to really watch a lot of racing action, a corner worker is a great spot to be. You have a completely different vantage than anybody else at the facility. And it just gives you a whole new appreciation and respect for the sport and what's going on the track. And it is important that you understand racing. But typically the main role of the corner worker is to know the flags, know the racing situations, and being able to wave the flag to let the karters on the track know that, hey, we have a racing situation going on a couple of corners ahead. So use caution. And that is the primary role of the corner workers on the insides of the track is your first job is to make sure you're waving the flags to alert the other racers. Caution ahead. There's something going on you need to be alert for. So if you're new to karting, or if you're a veteran of racing and you just want something to do one day a month around racing, check out the corner worker stuff. So again, it's years ago when I used to race, one of our tracks had they always had a shortage of corner workers. And so what they had to do is they had one weekend or one race, and each adult class was dedicated to the track. It's like, okay, you're not racing this weekend. You'll get your points for the race, but you need to work a corner. And the reason they had to do that is that they were having a hard time getting corner workers. And there were a few times I had to work the corners, and it's like, oh yeah, this is easy, whatever. Then you're out there and you start thinking, it's like, man, this is actually pretty cool. You have a whole different perspective of the racing. So if you're just a racing fan in general and you love to watch racing, reach out and check out the corner worker positions. All right, I'll be right back. Hold on for a second. All right, sorry about that. My doorbell rang. My daughter got home. I had to let her in. So, corner workers. If you want to be a corner worker, reach out to me. Where do we leave off? So we were talking about Rock Sonoma, corner workers, awards presentation, March 19th and 20th. Then we have Challenge of the Americas wraps up their Challenge of the Americas series at Sonoma on March 25th and 26th. So Challenge of the Americas, they will be wrapping up their series, their 3-race series here at Sonoma. Challenge of the Americas, again, they've been a supporter of Norcal Karters. Their website, challengekarting.com. And I'm pretty sure I mentioned Sonoma's website, but again, it's senzarukarting.com is the Rock Sonoma website. And so Challenge of the Americas, boom, boom, boom. Also coming up, on that same weekend, March 25th. I better double check the date. Just bookmark that Saturday. Give me 1 second here. Let me bring up my other calendar. March 25th. There will be what we are calling a shop swap meet. So a shop swap meet. Details are going to be coming soon. It will be at the Aluminos shop, but it's going to be on March 26th. March 26th. I have two different calendars. My computer calendar, the first day of the week is Sunday. On my Norcal Karters calendar, the first day of the week is a Monday. So I apologize for that. And so March 26th. Okay, I'm ADDing out. I'm here now. I'm trying to change the settings on the Windows calendar. I don't need to do that right this second. March 26th, we will be doing a we will be doing a shop swap meet. When I say we, it's a combination of Extra Kart Parts and Aluminos. And this is really for the newer guy out there. This isn't for the veteran racers out there that will be racing at Challenge of the Americas. It's, again, more for the new guy looking for equipment, used equipment. Aluminos has a number of rollers and turnkey carts available for sale. There's a bunch of parts up there for sale. So again, shop swap meet. More details will be coming soon. Follow Extra Kart Parts on either Instagram or on Facebook for more information. But we're going to do a couple of these. Rob and I were talking about it earlier today. We're going to do at least 2 this year. And there's going to be a swap meet style pop-up display, but it's going to be at Rob's shop. So, again, details coming soon. Let's see here. 80cc shifters. I just noticed that Sean put out a calendar a couple of days ago. That is not yet on Norcal Karters, but it will be. But they are doing the 80cc shifter kart track takeover, and that is going to be April 3rd at Prairie City. So April 3rd at Prairie City, 80cc shifter kart track takeover. So if your karting interest is more about the shifters, bookmark April 3rd, Prairie City. That same weekend, Blue Max Kart Club, they have their first club race on April 3rd. And some of my notes to kind of wrap up this show here. Job openings, Prairie City Kart Track, they are hiring. So if you want a job in the karting industry, reach out to Donald. Also, as I mentioned earlier, Rock Sonoma, corner workers for their events. Reach out to Rock Sonoma or get a hold of me. If either of those places kind of piques your interest, let me know. NorcalKarters@gmail.com. And let's see, a couple things to wrap up our show. Sponsors, Gorilla Barbecue, GFC Karting, ExtraKartParts.com, and Aluminos. Those are our current sponsors of this quick format weekly show. If you'd like to be a sponsor of Norcal Karters in any capacity, whether it's on our live streams as a primary sponsor where you're branded on everything, if you want a banner ad, reach out to us. If you want race coverage, reach out to us. We have so many different options available. And the unique thing about Norcal Karters, there's so many different sides of promoting karting that is not very cookie cutter on what we offer as far as advertising packages. We can really custom format a package for you. We'll sit down, find out what you need from advertising. Who are you trying to reach? What are your goals? And we'll put something together for you. So again, if you want that race coverage, if you want more of a call-in style race recap, that's available. If you just want to be on the calendar, that's available. Again, if you want to be a headline sponsor of the live streams, we have a number of different packages available for you. So that's Norcal Karters. And I'm going to close the show. This one ran a little bit longer. I'll have to go back and listen as to why it ran a little bit longer. Besides, I'm the host and I like to ramble. But we are going, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to wrap it up. 2022 is, it's the focus of 2022 with Norcal Karters is going to be on suicide awareness and prevention. So you can go to NorcalKarters.com, click on the resources tab, and we have a resources page. So if you're having thoughts of suicide, if you're struggling with thoughts that you don't know how to process, check out NorcalKarters.com and click on the resources tab. We have phone numbers. They have apps that you can download on your phone. They have live chat. So we had 3 racers in 2021 that took their lives. And, hopefully we never have to report on something like that again. So if you're struggling with suicidal thoughts, if you know someone that's struggling with depression, check out NorcalKarters.com, click on the resources tab, and this is just a starting point. This is not designed to get more traffic to Norcal Karters for any other reason than just to get the message out there and to get the resources out there in front of the people that are looking for help. So again, NorcalKarters.com, click on the resources tab. It's the very first link on the top of the page. And again, a suicide prevention and awareness. And it's just outside of karting, it's also an issue. In the small little town that I live in, I've heard of again 3 or 4 people just recently that have taken their own lives. So it's beyond karting. It affects everybody. I mean, it really does. So again, use Norcal Karters as that starting resource. And again, it's suicide awareness and prevention. If it's for yourself or someone that you know, again, it gives them a starting place because there is hope out there. And I'm going to close the show. If we all bring one person into the sport this year, we will double our size by next year. So thanks again for listening. Thank you for sharing. Thank you if you stop by and say, hey, are you the guy that does the podcast? All of that, it really goes a long way with, keeping me doing this show weekly. And I appreciate all the support from everybody. And with that, we'll be back next week.